So we've got this audio tag here. This is HTML though. We need this as JavaScript. You can't take an HTML object and just add, a JavaScript function on the end of it, if only. So to do this in React is a little bit, I won't say complicated. It's just there's some steps. So if you have the impulse of being like, oh my God, another thing we got to learn. Yes, unfortunately, this is one more thing. But this thing that we're going to learn, which is called useRef, very useful outside of audio, really just like generally a good way to be able to write more flexible JavaScript in your React apps. And essentially what this does is this is going to allow us to access an HTML tag like this as if it were a JavaScript object. So we're going to assign this to a JavaScript variable. So useRef is what it's called, and that's something we need to import from React. So right out here, just like we imported useState, we're also going to import useRef. Cool. So that's step one. And I'm going to be real with you. This is just one of those React things where there's a couple of steps. They might feel a little arbitrary. You just got to sort of go through them. And once you've done it once, you can refer back to previous projects and how to do it again. So to use useRef, that was step one. Step two is we're going to define the variable here that we'll be assigning our audio tag to. So I'll call it audio ref. I'm going to say const audio ref equals useRef. And then we can put in a default value there. I'm just going to say null, though, because we don't really need a default value. We're about to assign it. So the way we do that is down here, step 3. We add as an attribute on this tag, is it ref? Yeah, ref equals audio ref. Cool. So what that should let me do, and I think I did it right, is now I can refer to audio ref. And it'll basically be this audio tag. So to show you what I mean by that, what happens if I just console log audio ref? And this is also a good way to test whether this worked. I'll also log a label like I like to do. Audio ref. Cool. Okay, audio ref. What is it? It's an object. Okay, that's actually not what I expected. Okay, so what did I do wrong there? Well, let's see. I think it's just that we haven't actually assigned it yet. I console logged it before this happened, which is where we assigned it to a value. What would happen if I put this console logs inside the toggle sound function? Then I think that's going to work a little better. Yes. Okay, so then we see audio ref current is audio. Right, audio. Okay, so it's .current. So what if we log audio ref .current? Cool, there it is. So audio ref.current, it's the audio tag. I highlight it, I see it highlights on the page. Cool. All right, why is that useful? Once we have access to the audio tag like this as JavaScript, we can do this, audio ref.play. Let's see if that worked. No, it didn't. Not a function. Why is that? Because I just did it to audio ref, whereas I didn't learn from what we just did as the example, where I discovered that audio ref.current is actually what I wanted. So audio ref.current.play. And there we go. We've now created our own audio interface. All it can do is play, it can't pause, but it's a good start. When I click this, it plays. Cool. So, let's make this a little bit more robust, this toggle sound function. First of all, I'm going to get rid of those console logs because those are just cluttering things up at this point. Console logs are totally fine to have in there when you are developing or when you're debugging. They're really useful. But before your site goes anywhere near production, which means just like when you're pushing it up to GitHub, when it's like actually getting used more, you definitely want to make sure you've gone through and gotten rid of any console logs. Maybe with some exceptions, but off the top of my head, there's pretty much no reason you want to have console logs in your production code. Any case where you would want to keep it, you could just use like a console error instead. Okay. What do I want to do? Toggle sound should not just always play it. It should basically say if sound on, then play it. I guess I'll do this before I toggle sound on. So if sound is not already on, play it. Otherwise, pause it. Now, how did I know that play and pause are methods that are available on the audio tag? I just know that because I've worked with this kind of stuff. But let's find a list of it. Methods on the HTML audio tag. Yeah, cool. So a bunch of methods. Add text track. Not sure what that does. Not sure what that does. Reloads the audio video element. I don't know. These are the important ones. Play and pause. And also controls we talked about. But yeah, feel free to explore. You know, there's a bunch of stuff, and I think there's situations in which all of these would be useful. Okay, so first of all, now that we have this working, I'm going to get rid of this automatic controls thing. We don't need that anymore. To do that, I'm just going to get rid of this word right here, controls. That's an attribute that just is sort of standalone. I can get rid of it. Cool. Although one thing, actually, I realized I just turned down the volume a bunch, so let me just change that before I get rid of that for good. Cool. Great. And we can see it's working. I can play. I can pause.